Hello, everybody. I just want to talk about an experience that I had back in 2011. I want to say 2011, 2012. I was at the Big E, and I was walking by. I was walking by a stage. If nobody knows what the Big E is, the Big E is like a big like crafting event, a big like food eating event that goes on in the New England area up in Massachusetts. It's called the Big E. So if you've never been to the Big E, I would say go to the Big E. It's a lot of fun, especially trying some of the different foods. Like one of the foods that I tried when I was at the Big E was like fried cheesecake, the fried Oreos, the big turkey legs, and the huge corn dogs, and the donut burger. That was one of the things that I had at the Big E way back then. But to get back on subject, I just want to tell you a story. I was at the Big E and I was walking by this stage, and it was a hypnotist show that was going on. And the show was coming to an end, and I just happened to walk by the stage, and there was a blonde-haired woman that was performing. She was the hypnotist, and I turned over, and she turned her head at me, and I waved at her, and she waved back. And this woman's name is Catherine Hickland. I was very familiar with Catherine Hickland because she's an actress on television. She's a writer. She's a spiritual coach. Catherine Hickland was on Knight Rider. Catherine Hickland was also on a soap opera called Loving, where she played Tess Wilder. She was also on The City, which was a soap opera as well. Plus, she was on One Life to Live as Lindsay Rappaport. So she waved, and I waved to her, and then she invited me to come on stage. So I started speaking to her, and sometimes you just don't know. You're just connected to people for some reason. And I felt a connection to her. And then I said, hello, how are you? And she's like, how are you? And then I said, oh, shoot, I wish I could have caught the show and such. So we just started getting into some conversation. And then she was like, tell me about yourself. So I said, I'm trying to be an actor. I said, I'm trying to be an actor. So she said, come here. So I went closer to her. She gave me a hug. And then she started praying for me. She spoke into my ear, and then she said, I want you to change what you just said. She said, I want you to say, you are an actor. And I said, I am an actor. So Catherine taught me something very important in that moment back in 2011. You will become who you believe you are. You will become who you believe. Okay, so there's a difference in saying, as I was saying, I'm trying to be an actor, as to I am an actor. So do anybody notice the difference between those words that you're using at the moment? I'm trying to be, as opposed to I am. There's more power in it. I was not lining up with what I was saying before because it was a disconnect. So once I started saying who I was, I started to line up with the vision for my life. So it is very important that you speak correctly over your life, or you will not line up with things that you have dreamed for yourself, the vision that you have for yourself, the purpose that you came here to do, if you speak against it. So once I started speaking correctly and started lining up the things that I started seeing in my life, things started to show up for me. So I was glad that I was able to meet her, and I'm still in contact with her on social media. She has such an awesome spirit and an awesome soul. So, if anybody can get some of her DVDs, I would say get her DVDs and get her books and just connect with her, because that was a very powerful experience. Because on this journey of life, sometimes you don't know what you need until it comes to you, and sometimes you don't realize it till years later. Like, I needed that at that very moment so I could get on course, because I was not directly on course at that time. And then once I got it, I started to move on course, and things started to open up for me, and I started to get into the direction that I needed to go into. So she gave me such a great gift that day. So an actor who I teach, and I teach him every other weekend. And then, I also, to this weekend, I also had another acting teacher in with me. Her name is Cherise. And Cherise was like, you got a good teacher there. And then he was like, yes, he's an excellent teacher. And then I said, you know what? Somebody gave to me. Somebody gave me the tools that I needed to succeed and to be able to push my life forward in the direction that I needed to go. One person was Catherine. I've had many people that have done that for me. My mother, my grandparents, just so many people that have given me the tools, my godparents, so many people that have given me the tools to be able to push in the direction that I wanted to see my life go. So one of the things that you must do is do the inner work. Do the work on this vessel right here so you can start seeing results in your life. Start believing what you say about yourself. Start believing that what you say you are is who you are going to become, because that is the ultimate truth. And if you speak against that, then you've broken the alignment that you need to go into. Okay? And I just want to also speak about the alignment, about how important it is to align with your vision, because if she did not teach me that, I wouldn't have aligned with my vision for my life, and I would have just taken it totally off course, and I would have constantly gotten these results of not being anywhere, not succeeding, not being in the place where I'm supposed to get to, because I do believe that at the moment that you're in the place that you're supposed to be, because you're supposed to get something in that moment. But I would have definitely steered my life off course because I was speaking against it, and I didn't realize just how little that saying was, I'm trying to be, was just getting me off course, as opposed to the statement of I am. You become who you believe you are. You become what you say about yourself. Now, the reason why I'm also talking about this video is because I had a friend, and my friend was excited about getting this job, and so the energy was just right there. Everything was just lining up for this friend. But then in the conversation, the friend was like, well, I want full time, but I know I'm not going to get it. And I said, well, do you realize you just blocked yourself from what you expect for your life? Just in that instance, you blocked yourself from being able to get the full time and to being able to stay at this part time or this per diem level just by the words that you spoke. And it takes a lot of work to work on your inner self, because you've been programmed your whole life of thinking one way, or you've been conditioned to think one way as opposed to moving in another direction. So it takes a while to remove all that junk that's in your system to get to the good stuff, to clean out all those weeds and get the good planting and the good soil down there. That is so important that you work on yourself. So Catherine, I have to thank you for that gift, because as Sunday, I just took a day to relax and reflect. That epiphany just came to me. I was like, whoa, this is where I got that from. And then when I was working with the actor yesterday, and he said, you're a good teacher. And I said, somebody taught me along the way. Somebody gave me the gift of, knowing who I am and knowing that I can have and I can achieve. Somebody gave that to me. So it is my responsibility to give it back, to sow into somebody else's life, because somebody sowed into my life. So please be careful what you say about yourself. Do the work on yourself. Know that you can become anybody you want to become. You can do anything that you want to do. You can have anything that you choose to have. It is all in doing the work. So we got to work inward, and then stuff will start to reflect outward. Start working inward, and then let everything else reflect outward. And these things, like I said, it is such a gift that she gave me, and then the many people who have come in my life have given me, because look at that other person as a reflection of yourself, and look at them as, they have something to share with you that you're going to need at that moment. So don't throw anybody away. Continue to learn from other people. And I learned in that instance that I was blocking myself, and that I needed to change the course of my life if I wanted it to go into the direction that I saw for myself. So once I started speaking correctly and started believing it and started seeing the vision for my life, it started to move in the direction that I want it to go. And it's going to continue to do that if you continue to practice the tools and work inwardly, so you can start seeing everything outwardly. It is so important that you do that for yourself. And I'm glad that, now that I'm teaching somebody else, I'm giving another actor the tools that were given to me. I'm doing that on this channel. That's what this channel is for, about our spirit, our mind, body, and spirit, about the things that we need to do to develop our lives, to be able to move into a better direction for ourselves, because we can do it. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't do it. You have to be careful what you're feeding your soul. The food for the soul is important. Hunger for that thing that you're going to do. Hunger for that thing that you know is for you. Hunger for that life that you want for yourself. Hunger. Be hungry. Okay, I hope this video finds you well, and if you can share this video with somebody that you know it can help, please share this video. And then I'm going to take you back to a video that I talked about probably about 2 months ago. I did a video called Trust Yourself, and that kind of coincides with what I'm saying now in this video right here. So if you get a chance, click on the last video at the end of this called Trust Yourself, and I promise you that you will get something to help take your life to the next level. As always, be blessed, and I love you.